distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you on behalf of the Armenian General Benevolent Union in London. It is our privilege to have you with us this evening. My name is Aremineh Afrikyan. AGBU is the world's largest non-profit Armenian organization, established in 1906 in Cairo and founded by Provost and Aremineh. Currently headquartered in New York City, AGBU continues to preserve and promote Armenian identity and heritage through educational, cultural, and humanitarian programs. AGBU has flourished into an exemplary organization with the resources and goodwill to serve Armenians across the globe. Today, the AGBU has over 69 districts and chapters, 49 community centers and offices, 28 young professionals group, and 24 Armenian schools. The AGBU also supports the American University in Armenia, the Armenian Virtual College, scholarships, internships, athletics and scouts, senior dining centers. Most recently, AGBU partnered with TUMO, Center for Creative Technology in Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. AGBU has changed the lives of millions and remained true to the vision of its founding fathers. In 1979, world-renowned American Armenian writer William Sarian said, "Always we are pleased about the astonishing, heroic, magnificent achievement of the AGBU, which means simply all Armenians concerned about all Armenians, gone, here, and scheduled to arrive. My profound admiration and gratitude." Just want to show you a picture. To the General of the Republic of Armenia, to the UK, IRP Dirmeyan.
Thank you, Armenia. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Grace Bishop Vakim Mamjan, on behalf of Dr. Armenieh Sarkisyan, Ambassador of Armenia, who is currently traveling, I would like to welcome everyone and thank AGBU for organizing this event, the Diaspora's Best Investment in Armenia. When we speak about Armenia and Armenians, especially in different times of challenges, we quite often like to refer to one of the most prominent Armenian writer, who once said, "O Armenian people, your only salvation is in the power of your unity." This is a very famous quote for all Armenians all over the world, but it is also more than a quote, because it defines a path for a nation which has faced a lot of tragedies and calamities throughout the history. It defines a path stating that we are strong as long as we are united and we support each other. And in this long-standing and powerful unity of homeland and diaspora, AGBU is one of its significant links. This organization, since its establishment in 1906, has served for the various goals. And the main aim of it, for example, was to assist those Armenians who were in danger in Ottoman Empire. But the noble goals of AGBU has ranged also throughout the years to preserving Armenian history, Armenian heritage, and also the identity. And for this aim, the AGBU has implemented many programs and initiatives, educational, humanitarian, cultural, and one can truly note that AGBU has become a symbol and a synonym of a success story for many generations of Armenians. When we talk about AGBU, one of its most successful stories, one can say that it's the American University of Armenia. Though officially this university was opened on 21st of September November 1991, on a very symbolic day for all Armenians when we held the referendum of independence, the process of establishing Western-type higher educational institute in Armenia launched in late 1980s. Despite the devastating earthquake of 1988 and despite the very harsh economic and social situation of the country, which was also aggravated by the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict unleashed by the Azerbaijan, the founders of American University of Armenia were very keen in their determination to secure educated future for Armenia. And their vision of having American graduate university in Armenia was supported by many academicians in Armenia and also in the United States of America. The main vision became reality due to the vast financial and technical support provided by AGBU, but also due to the contribution of University of California and Armenian and United States government. So a university which started with only 101 students in 1991 currently is considered as one of the most prestigious and reputable universities in Armenia, which has more than 1,700 students, for example, last year. American University of Armenia teaches a generation of young, ambitious, and committed professionals who have played, and I believe they will play an important role in building more prosperous future for Armenia. And I see here maybe many young professionals and students, and I have many friends also in Armenia from AUA, and all of them are so proud to be part of great alumni network of American University of Armenia. It's my belief that all of them, no matter they are here in London or somewhere else, or in Armenia, all of them will invest their knowledge and experience in developing and strengthening Armenia. Last but not least, I'd like to mention that though today's event, the Diaspora's Best Investment in Armenia, refers to American University of Armenia, which is true, absolutely, but I think that the best investment of Armenian diaspora is in its unity, through its commitment to strengthen motherland by investing in such success stories as American University of Armenia. I wish all of the best to AGBU and also AUA for their further initiatives. And thank you, Dr. Rhodes, for joining us today. And we are looking forward to your very interesting presentation. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to be very long. Thank you, Aremineh. Thank you, Hierarchy, for those two introductions. We're very lucky to have Dr. Randall Rhodes here with us today. He's in the United Kingdom for an academic conference, so he's a practicing academic in his own right. His own field is art history, and he got his PhD from Chicago University, again a top university in the United States. He has a distinguished career in teaching, but also administering universities and university programs. That's why he's a provost. A provost's job is to make sure that the heads of departments and the deans and the various parts of the university work together with a long-term vision of what universities can become. So we are putting a lot of hope in him and a lot of pressure, weight on his shoulders, and hope that the AGBU will continue to grow in terms of numbers, but also in the quality of education. Dr. Randall, please.
The weight is so heavy that I get shorter each year. I used to be 6 feet tall. There we are. That's it. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me today. Thank you to AGBU for this invitation and for setting up this very nice event. So my aim today is to introduce you to AUA, and I also threw in some up-to-date information about Armenia and the higher education landscape, so we can discuss some of those issues as well. So my intention is not to have a formal presentation, but if at any time you want to ask questions, something is on your mind, please ask at that moment. And we'll have a little bit of discussion. So I want this more as a conversation rather than as a formal presentation. There is literature out there, annual reports, there are flash drives with promotional information, there is information about our academic programs. You're welcome to take them. I'm not going to go into that much detail, but if you have any questions, again, we can address them. So as was mentioned a few moments ago, AUA was established, first opened its doors with our new entering class on September 21st, 1991. And as mentioned, the negotiations began in the aftermath of the earthquake when various faculty members from California came and saw that besides earthquake assessment, there was a need for higher education reform within Armenia. So our patrons at the very beginning, the University of California system, they gave us an endowment of $10 million in order to start generating income so that we could start afford opening our doors. Also, AGBU has always been very generous. We'll get into some numbers at the very end. So you can see the context, the role that AGBU has played in the development of AUA, and also the government of Armenia. We currently have two, maybe I should go back, we have two buildings. This is the original building. This is the gift from the Armenian government. We are licensed. We are in an Armenian university. We are licensed by the Republic of Armenia. So their gift, they've never given us any money, but their gift is the building. So we have a 99-year lease on it. We don't pay anything. Obviously, we pay the utilities. We have the land. And we have ASHA grants, American Schools and Hospitals Abroad. We competitively apply for grants in order to slowly refurbish the building floor by floor as our needs change. But this was the Communist Party headquarters. So it's odd that in 1988, the Soviet Socialist Republic of Armenia was giving us their Communist Party headquarters as the American university. It was obviously going to be the only American university on Soviet soil. And our auditorium, where we have our commencement exercises, our matriculation ceremonies, and many others, that was the Congress Party Hall, where they had their annual meetings. So it's a very interesting combination. So we're affiliated with the University of California. What does that mean? After that $10 million endowment, they give us no money. So we get no money from the Armenian government, and we get no money from the US government. There is no cash for our operating expenses coming from those sources. What the University of California does provide, and I'll get to a little bit later, is that we are able to invest our endowments with them. They manage it as a part of their multi-billion-dollar portfolio. So therefore, we get the benefits of very high-level professional investment. We are accredited by the United States. It's WASC, which is one of the 6 accreditation bodies in the United States. So we have the same accreditation as Berkeley, Stanford, and all of the institutions in the state of California. That we earned ourselves. That wasn't handed to us. And not only were we accredited in 2007, but our accreditation was reaffirmed in 2014, 2015, and they granted us a 9-year extension, which is very unusual. Usually it's much shorter than that. So what do we provide? And we are not just one of the best in Armenia, we are the best in Armenia. So the AUA vision, obviously, is the American ideals, and that's why students come to us. It's not only because it's the English language higher ed institution. There's a Russian Slavonic institution, there's a French university, so there is a variety. But they come to us not just for the US accreditation, that our credits and our diplomas, our transcripts are easily transferable to US institutions and institutions in Britain and Eastern and Western Europe, but also because of the types of modalities of instructions and pedagogies that are more modeled on the US system, rather than the US system or obviously the Soviet system. So therefore, participatory learning, active learning, collaborations, undergraduate research, graduate level research, these are all models that we're taking from our own US experiences and applying it to the AUA classroom experience. Okay, some facts and figures. So right now, 2016, 2017, we have a little bit over 1,800 students. It started as a graduate institution just providing master's programs. The undergraduates didn't come until 2013. It's a little backwards. Usually a university in the United States evolves the other way. You start with undergraduates and slowly build out programs. But again, we're trying to initially meet the needs of Armenia, and Armenia needed more master's students with Western ideologies. Now we're catching up with the undergrads. So the balance is 75% undergrad, 25% grad. And when we open up our doors for next fall semester, we'll be at 2,000. Now, one of the things that always intrigues me, there's always something new that I learn each day. I've been there for a little less than 2 years. I arrived August 1st in 2015. I had spent 19 years working in the Maryland State University system. There are bizarre things in Armenia. And one thing is, the number of students you have is regulated by the government. Because we are an Armenian university, our license regulates the number of students we can take in a particular year. The number of students you have is based on your square footage. So if you don't grow, you can't take in more students. So therefore, based on our square footage, the most we can have is like 2,050 students. So we're going to get very, very, very close this fall. And once we max out at 2,500, 2,050, 2,100, then we'll just have to have a stasis until we have new buildings. Okay, so graduate students have grown from the initial 101 up to 539. And 281 up to 1440. The grad is pretty much stabilized at about 500, but as I said, our undergraduates are going to go up to 1,500 for a total of 2,000. 90% of our students are Armenian citizens, okay? 80% from Yerevan, 20% from the Marses, 10% international. International does include Armenians from the diaspora. And that is one of the ways we get our international numbers up, by recruiting Armenians in Lebanon, Armenians in Canada, Armenians in the United States, Armenians in Syria. And you may have heard of the new scholarship, the RVVZ scholarship from the Ideal Foundation, Ruben Vardanyan and Veronica Zornaben, that they have pledged $1 million for students coming from 5 countries, from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt. Initially, it was meant to give thanks to those countries that harbored Armenians during and in the aftermath of the genocide. So our target populations in terms of growing our international numbers is not much Western Europe or the United States. Our target is Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and the Middle East. Obviously, the Syrian population, actually, of all the countries, we have more students of Syrian citizenship than any other.
Thank you to